What makes a game truly unforgettable? From mind-bending puzzles to immersive worlds, certain mechanics leave players in awe. Today we're counting down the top 10 game mechanics that amazed everyone and changed the way that we play. Let's start with Super Hot, a game that plays like a first-person shooter but with a huge twist. Time only moves when you do. It's like you're inside an action movie but the pace is in your hands. Every step you take, every shot you fire, advances time, while standing still freezes the world around you. This transforms the game into a strategic puzzle where each movement matters. You're not just reacting quickly like in most shooters, instead you're carefully planning each step, dodging bullets, and figuring out how to take out multiple enemies in the best order. It feels like playing chess in a high-speed action scene. What's really cool is that players found that they could almost freeze the world with tiny movements, allowing them to think through complex scenarios and act like a tactical mastermind. How often do you get to feel like you're directing your own action movie? In God of War, we see a shift from bullets to axes with a weapon that's not only powerful, but incredibly satisfying to use. The Leviathan axe. Kratos, our hero, can swing this hefty axe with all his might, but the real magic happens when you recall it. Just press a button and the axe flies back into your hand, smashing anything in its path on the way back. Unlike other games where weapons just automatically return, here you control that moment. Each time you call it back feels epic. The physics, the sound, and that heavy thud when it lands back in your hand all create a super personal experience. What makes this even cooler is how it adds layers of strategy to combat. You could throw the axe to pin one enemy down, tackle another, and then call it back at just the right moment to finish off the first. This mechanic keeps battles fresh and exciting. It's no wonder players feel such a strong connection to Kratos. His axe becomes more than just a weapon, it's like an extension of him. This unique gameplay element makes every encounter thrilling and keeps players coming back for more, eager to master the art of Leviathan axe. Speaking of deep connections, Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor brought us the Nemesis system, which gave enemies their own personalities and memories. In most games, you defeat an enemy and that's the end of the story, but in Shadow of Mordor, when you beat an enemy, they remember. They come back, often stronger, and they hold a grudge. If you scar an orc in battle, you'll see those scars when they return for revenge. This makes every encounter personal and unique to your playthrough. No two players experience the same enemies or storylines because the Nemesis system tailors the game based on how you fight. It's a brilliant way to make the world feel alive. Why haven't more games adopted this system? Well, it's incredibly complex to build such dynamic AI, and not every game world can support such personalised enemy encounters. Still, the Nemesis system opened the door for a future where enemies aren't just faceless foes, they're characters with histories. Let's change the topic to something more reflective. In Disco Elysium, there's a mechanic called the Thought Cabinet, which is quite unlike anything you'll find in other RPGs. Instead of just leveling up through stats and skills, you collect thoughts. Yes, thoughts, ideas that you can internalize, and these thoughts shape your character's abilities and interactions in the world. For example, you might pick up on a thought during a conversation and choose to internalize it, which will then affect your stats or open new dialogue options later on. It's like you're building your character's personality and worldview as you play. This mechanic isn't just about getting stronger, it shapes how your character sees the world and interacts with it. It adds a deeper layer to the game, encouraging you to think about your choices in a meaningful way. You're not just leveling up, you're really exploring what your character stands for and how they fit into the story. Isn't that a cool way to enhance the experience? Time travel is always a fun concept to explore in games, but Lemnis Gate and Quantum League brought a twist that no one saw coming. In these games, you're not just battling opponents in real time, you're also fighting alongside your past selves. It works like this. Every round, your actions get recorded, and in the next round, a duplicate of your past self repeats those actions while you play again. So, as the game progresses, it becomes a chaotic puzzle of planning where you have to think about how your current actions affect not only the present, but also how they'll interact with what you did in previous rounds. It's like playing chess against yourself, only with bullets flying everywhere. While incredibly fun, designing these time travel mechanics is a huge challenge. From time-bending combat to high-speed chases, Batman Arkham Knight introduced the Batmobile as a core part of its gameplay. The Batmobile wasn't just a way to get from point A to point B, it became a Swiss Army knife on wheels. Players could use it for puzzle solving, combat and navigating Gotham City in ways that hadn't been seen before in a Batman game. You could remotely control it, using it to solve environmental puzzles or smash through enemy barricades. This seamless integration made Gotham City feel more alive, as you weren't just moving through the city, you were actively interacting with it through the Batmobile. Some players loved it, while others felt that it took too much focus away from Batman's usual hand-to-hand combat, but there's no denying that it added a new layer of depth to exploring the open world. Speaking of interactions that don't follow the usual multiplayer rules, Journey and Dark Souls introduced indirect multiplayer mechanics that connected players in emotional ways. In Journey, you might meet another player as you move through the vast desert, but you'll never know their name or speak to them. Yet you'll form a bond as you silently travel together, helping each other along the way. It's an incredibly moving experience, and it's amazing how something so simple as walking beside someone in a game can create such a strong emotional connection. Dark Souls does something similar, but in a more cryptic manner, where players can leave messages or see how others died. This indirect form of multiplayer fosters a sense of community without the need for direct interaction, showing that sometimes less is more when building emotional connections in games. In Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, precision and timing are absolutely crucial, especially with the Mikiri counter. This isn't your usual swipe move. Instead of just blocking an enemy's attack, you actually have to dodge into their thrust. It's a bold move that turns their aggression into your chance for a powerful counter-attack. Sure, it's risky, but when you pull it off it feels incredibly satisfying. What I love about the Mikiri counter is that it embodies the game's overall philosophy. Mastery comes from practice, patience and timing, not just brute force. In games like Inscription and The Witness, discovery is key. Both games hide their true mechanics, encouraging players to figure things out on their own. Inscription begins as a straightforward card game, but as you play you realise there's much more lurking beneath the surface. The game reveals deeper hidden layers, turning what seems simple into something more complex and mysterious. Finally, the guiding wind in Ghost of Tsushima truly revolutionises how players navigate open world environments. By using a gentle breeze instead of traditional markers, the game encourages exploration and immersion, allowing players to feel connected to the stunning landscapes. This mechanic transforms the experience, making every journey feel meaningful as you discover hidden secrets and appreciate the beauty around you. It's a simple yet powerful design choice that enhances the overall gameplay, allowing you to fully embrace the role of a wandering samurai. Ultimately, the guiding wind isn't just a navigation tool, it's a thoughtful way to keep players engaged and focused on the world, enriching their adventure. What's the main idea behind all of these new mechanics? They make players think in new ways, engage more deeply with the game world, and offer fresh, exciting experiences. So, which one of these mechanics would you like to see in more games? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest updates. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We'll see you guys next time.